Dubai was never built on oil. Read that again carefully. The most famous skyline in the Middle East, a city that grew from just 175,000 people in 1975 to around 4 million by 2025, did not rise because of oil. That is a population increase of more than 2,000% in just 50 years. But this growth was built on something far more fragile than oil. It was built on a promise, a very specific promise, that no matter what war, conflict, or crisis was happening in the Middle East, it would stop at Dubai's borders. That promise had real value. By the end of 2025, Dubai had become a global financial hub. Hundreds of banks, hedge funds, and wealth management firms operated there. Thousands of millionaires were moving in every year, more than in any other country. Real estate was booming, companies were reaching record valuations, and the population was growing faster than ever. Everything looked stable, everything looked unstoppable. But that stability depended on one idea, and that idea was about to be tested. On February 28, 2026, during peak tourist season and one of the busiest weekends of the year, Dubai looked exactly like it always did. Beaches were full, hotels were packed, and luxury areas were alive with activity. Tourists filled Palm Jumeirah, and the marina was crowded with yacht parties. Then suddenly, everything changed. Iran launched a massive attack on the United Arab Emirates. Hundreds of missiles and drones were sent toward the country. Most of them were intercepted, but not all of them. And the ones that were not stopped did more than just damage buildings. They broke something much bigger. They broke the promise that Dubai was built on. And this attack was not random. It was a response to a recent military operation carried out by the United States and Israel against Iran. Iran had already warned that it would target American assets in the region if attacked, and the UAE hosts a major U.S. military base. That made it a target. For decades, Dubai had created the image that it was separate from the conflicts around it. But on that day, reality proved otherwise. To understand what changed, you have to understand what Dubai actually built. It was not oil wealth. Oil makes up less than 2% of Dubai's economy. Instead, Dubai built something much more complex. It built trust. It created one of the busiest aviation hubs in the world, connecting continents and serving millions of passengers every year. It positioned itself as the center of global movement, where people from all over the world could meet, work, and invest. But more importantly, it attracted people who were looking for safety and stability. People escaping war, economic instability, and uncertainty came to Dubai because it offered something rare in the region. It was safe, tax-free, and predictable. That became its real product. Not the skyscrapers, not the luxury hotels, not the beaches or shopping malls. The real product was the absence of fear. The idea that life could continue normally, no matter what was happening elsewhere. That idea was challenged on February 28th. For the first time, residents faced a situation they were not prepared for. There were no public bomb shelters. People didn't know where to go. Families hid in parking garages. Parents told their children that the explosions were fireworks to keep them calm. Buildings sent emergency messages asking residents to stay in basements. Daily life stopped almost instantly. Gyms closed, delivery services crashed, and supermarkets were emptied within hours. Streets that were usually full of activity became silent. By the next morning, Dubai felt different. It was a peak tourist weekend, a time when beaches would normally be crowded. But instead, they were nearly empty. Even the skies changed. Flights were grounded, and the airspace over one of the busiest airports in the world became quiet. The targets of the attack were not random. They were symbols. A luxury hotel on Palm Jumeirah was hit. The Burj Al Arab, one of the most iconic hotels in the world, was damaged by falling debris. Smoke was seen near the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. Dubai International Airport was struck, forcing evacuations. Jebel Ali Port, one of the largest ports globally, caught fire. Even the U.S. consulate in Dubai was targeted. While most of the incoming weapons were intercepted, interception does not mean zero impact. Destroyed missiles still fall, and drone debris still lands somewhere. In this case, that debris fell into the city itself. The physical damage was limited compared to what could have happened. A few people were killed, dozens were injured, and many structures were damaged but repairable. The airport reopened within days, and flights slowly began returning. But Dubai was never just a physical city. Its strength was never just its buildings. It was psychological. It depended on how people saw it. It depended on trust, and that trust was shaken. And within days, financial markets closed in ways they never had before. Flights were canceled across multiple airports. Companies began preparing for layoffs. Banking systems experienced disruptions. People rushed to buy gold, a classic sign of fear during uncertain times. All of this happened within just a few days. The speed of the reaction showed how sensitive the system really was. Another important factor is how quickly information spread. Images of smoke near famous landmarks traveled across the world in minutes. Videos of people evacuating airports, hiding in basements, and rushing to supermarkets appeared online instantly. For a city that built its image on perfection, these images had a strong impact. They didn't just show damage, they showed vulnerability. And once that image is seen, it becomes part of global perception. Even if the situation improves, the memory remains. And in markets like Dubai, perception is everything. There is also a deeper economic layer to consider. Dubai's economy depends heavily on real estate, tourism, and financial services. All of these sectors rely on confidence. If investors feel uncertain, they delay decisions. If tourists feel unsafe, they choose different destinations. If businesses see risk, they slow expansion. These reactions don't happen all at once, but they build over time. And because Dubai's economy is highly connected to global flows of money and people, even small changes in confidence can have large effects. Another issue is how mobile Dubai's population is. Unlike many cities, most people living in Dubai are not permanent residents. They are expatriates who came for opportunity, safety, and financial benefits. This makes the population flexible, but also sensitive. If conditions change, people can leave quickly. They don't have deep roots that keep them in place. This creates a unique situation where stability depends on constant satisfaction. The moment that satisfaction changes, movement begins. There is also the question of long-term trust. Trust is not something that can be rebuilt overnight. It takes time, it requires consistency, and it depends on how future events unfold. If the region remains unstable, the perception of risk increases. If similar incidents happen again, even on a smaller scale, the impact on confidence becomes stronger. Investors and residents start thinking not just about what happened, but about what could happen next. And that shift in thinking changes behavior. At the same time, Dubai is not without strengths. The city still has world-class infrastructure. It still offers high-quality services. It still attracts business and tourism. And it has shown the ability to recover quickly from past challenges. But this situation is different because it touches the core of its identity, not just its economy, but its promise. And when the core is affected, recovery becomes more complex. This moment may also lead to changes in how Dubai operates in the future. There may be new security measures, new infrastructure designed for emergencies, new policies to strengthen resilience. These changes could improve long-term stability, but they also change the nature of the city, because the idea of complete safety, the idea that nothing would ever happen, has already been challenged. Then the real question now is not about what was destroyed. It is about what remains. Can Dubai still offer the same level of trust it once did, or has that image changed permanently? Because once people begin to question safety, the entire system shifts. Investors hesitate, residents reconsider, and the flow of capital begins to adjust. Dubai's future depends on whether it can restore that confidence, because without it, the system it built becomes much harder to sustain. In the end, the most important question is not about what was damaged, it is about what was revealed. This event showed that Dubai is not completely separate from the region around it, it is part of it, and that reality changes how people think about the city. It doesn't remove its strengths, but it adds a new layer of risk that was not considered before. And so now, the situation becomes a test, not of infrastructure, but of perception. Can Dubai maintain the level of trust it built over decades? Can it convince investors, residents, and tourists that it is still a safe and stable choice? Or will this moment become a turning point that changes its trajectory? Because in the end, Dubai was not built on oil. It was built on belief. Belief in safety, belief in stability, belief in a future that felt predictable. And once belief is shaken, everything connected to it begins to shift. So what do you think? Was this just a one-time event, or is it the beginning of a deeper change? Will Dubai recover its image completely, or has something permanent changed in how the world sees it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to keep exploring stories like this, stories that go beyond the surface and reveal what's really happening behind the headlines.